Hi, I'm Chris from Tiger Moth Racing. Today I wanted to share with you a little bit about digital calipers, the ones that I have been using and the newer style that I have moved to. I wanted to share a little bit about how to measure accurately with them and point out some of the things that I've noticed about the different brands. I've gone through a little bit of shift and change in the last couple of years with calipers. This is my current inventory that I have, which is reduced quite a bit. At one point about 2 years ago, I probably had about 20 of them. Most of them I didn't use, but I've been collecting them for years, trying different ones. Some of them were given to me. Others I bought because they were interesting, had some interesting design to them. These are what is left. Some of these I use every day, other ones get used a couple times a year. So what I really wanted to point out was that I have migrated towards these new Mitutoyos. These are the CD series. These are the ones that I'm the most happy with. I'm excited to pick this up and use it every day. I used to primarily use the Starrett. This is an older dial mechanical style that is still great, still very applicable today. But the digital is faster to read and I would say the same or more accurate. So these guys, just basically picking it up, I got a chance to use these over the last couple of years at a couple of clients' sites, and they are just so smooth. I can't feel the metal on metal interaction with these. They are just glass smooth. They're the most repeatable. So you can take a measurement and go back to zero and it will be exactly the same every time. I've never had these jump around with me. The jaws are very square, the finish is excellent. Of course these are not cheap, but they are the best ones I have ever used. So I recently sold off most of my extra calipers that I had collected and sitting around that I wasn't using so that I could buy these two, the 6-inch and the 12-inch Mitutoyo. The other ones, these are my old Starretts that I used in college. This is my first digital pair. This is literally a Harbor Freight product, but these can be quite good also. For $10, $15, whatever it is, if you clean them and oil them, maybe take the burrs off of them, and those will last a long time, and they are accurate, within a thou. Have a little micrometric set that was given to me by a friend of mine. That's very handy, sort of unusual, but handy for getting into tight spots and things like that. This is a 24-inch that I bought probably 2008 or 9. These are also from they are a budget brand. These are from Shars.com. They're inexpensive for the size and the accuracy. I think they were maybe $130 back in 2008 or 9. But these have proven to be excellent. They're very smooth, very accurate. They do repeat. If you have long work to do, these are pretty much indispensable. Very convenient, fast way to measure longer stuff. For the money, you can't beat that. I have compared them to the other brands, Starrett and Mitutoyo, looking to upgrade them. But honestly, these are as accurate as the rating for the more expensive brands. So I found that there was just no reason to do it. They've been excellent. As far as a little bit of maintenance I wanted to mention on these, basically you don't need to take anything apart. I've never had a problem with any of these losing screws or getting loose or anything like that. I would just clean and oil them regularly. I do like this stuff. It's a Starrett tool oil. It's very smooth and clean and does seem to last a long time. A lot of the other regular, household oils don't stay on the slides very long. So what I'll do is I'll take a clean rag and I'll spread a little bit on there, and then all you need to do is get it on both sides of the slide. And these weren't dirty, but you can see that it did have some residue on there. And then I'll close them up and do the bottom also. So you're oiling it and cleaning the dirt off at the same time, and that will keep that smooth action and prevent the wear. I like to rub off the extra because it will collect dust and get all over your hands when you pick it up. But you want just a very fine film on there, and then you're good to go for another couple months. One of the things you'll hear everywhere is calipers and micrometers will measure differently with different people handling them and with a different pressure applied. The biggest thing I want to emphasize about the calipers is with most parts and most measuring situations, you want to take advantage of the fact that these jaws are extremely flat. And that's what you're trying to get to interface with the part that you're measuring. Let's grab a gauge block here. If this is your part and you're measuring the width, what I will do is I'll feel the part with the calipers. So we have a nice flat, large surface and a nice flat surface here. You're going to bring the caliper down to them, and then I always move the part. If you move the part, you can feel whether the flat surfaces are mating or not, and oftentimes it will let you reorient the part to fit the jaws. And that's going to give you the most accurate measurement. Even out here on the tips, they're flat. You're not going to get a good measurement unless you're dead on with it. And if you move the part or the calipers to feel that flush mating happen, you're going to get the most accurate measurement. I don't even know what this is. This is just a little part that I made a few years ago. I think it's a fixture or a setup piece for some little part I did production on. I don't remember. But let's use it for measuring example here. This, would be a diameter measurement. With this, I would do the same thing. I wouldn't just close the jaws on the part. I would rotate the part a little bit to make sure that the part is square with the jaws. That's going to guarantee that you are mating with the actual surfaces of your part. So we can use this. Okay, so I wanted to show you one more thing and mention a couple things about measuring. This is just a little fixture for mounting a chuck on a milling machine. But one of the most important things is to make sure that whatever you're measuring is clean. So if you just cut this in the mill, you want to clean the coolant off, wipe it off before you bother measuring what size it is. Otherwise you're going to have chips and stuff in there that's going to make the part measure larger than it actually is. So this is a good example with larger parts. What you want to do is, again, make sure the calipers are clean. I have the habit of obsessively always checking the zero when I am going to measure anything important. I'll clean the jaws and then make sure it's zeroed out. And then you know that you're clean, there's nothing in there, and the caliper is set up. So what I'll do for larger stuff, this can be fixture plates that are 20 inches long or, 8 inches long, whatever. I'll do the same thing. You'll come up on the part until you touch, and then I will rock the caliper a little bit back and forth to get it parallel to the part. If you don't do that, you will always get a different measurement because you'll be off at an angle to the faces. So you're not measuring anything. You want to actually move the caliper while you're putting tension on it to get it to mate with the surfaces of the part. And that's going to give you the real size of what you're measuring. So, I guess just to recommend, what these different ones are for, what you might want to consider if you're looking to get a pair or if you're shopping for them. Like I said, these are $10, $12, $15, and they can be excellent. I don't know if they're all going to be, great. I would check them after you get them, deburr them, check the accuracy, and then, the ones that I've had have been great. These are cheap, $10, $15. These are much nicer. They're better made, higher quality, but they're maybe $100. I haven't looked at these in a long time, but these will last a very long time. They're repairable, and Starrett services their stuff. Excellent tool. These may not be your first caliper, but something you might want to check out. I mean, these are $200 or more. I can't remember exactly. $200 to $300 depending on the size, but these are amazing. If it's something that you're doing machining every day and you get pleasure out of just the experience of the tool and using it, then these would be my first choice, and they are. But they all work. These will measure relatively the same as these. I would trust these more. And I like these more, but it's very impressive what you can do for $10 these days. And I guess that's just where I'm at, and I would highly recommend these. But if you're shopping around, you have a huge range of options and prices for sure.